Hi there, everyone. This is Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church. This is our weekly devotional for the week of August the 15th, 2022. When I was a teacher, one of the things that I really didn't like to do, I didn't like to use it, sometimes I felt like I needed to, was memorization. I just don't put a lot of stock in memorizing. Memorizing doesn't show that you're intelligent. It just shows that you've practiced a lot. You've memorized something. Now, when it comes to things like, multiplication facts, okay, you have to memorize those, and addition facts and subtraction facts. The states in the United States, the countries in the world, the capitals of different things, okay, maybe that's a good thing to memorize too. But learning about those states and learning how to apply those multiplication facts, that's more important. That's more important. I think you'd agree with me on that one. Now, I had a fifth grade teacher that was really big on memorizing. And one of the things she gave us extra points for was if we memorized certain famous speeches, like the preamble to the Constitution or the Gettysburg Address or the Declaration of Independence, which is a really difficult document to memorize, and things like that. And I remember some of the kids in our class, including me, worked pretty hard on memorizing as many as we could. And I remember my dad worked with me a lot, but I still didn't see the value of memorizing. I'm pretty good at it, but it's more important to learn. Like, for example, if you memorize the Declaration of Independence or, let's say, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, that's good. That's good. But what's more important is to learn what the Declaration of Independence was saying or what Lincoln was saying at Gettysburg when he gave that address. That's more important. I think teachers would agree with you on that. Back in the olden days, and I don't mean when I was a kid either, I mean long ago, Jewish boys were expected to memorize the names of as many of their ancestors in a row as they possibly could, going back as far as they could. And the farther back that they could go, the better it reflected on your family. It showed that your family was important or connected or unbroken or something like that. And the memorizing is not the important part. The important part was showing that your family was a good one, okay? Now, I've memorized at least a few of the people in my family. Like, for example, my father was named Robert. His father was named Robert. His father was named Robert. His father was named Ace. So I can go back that many generations and tell you who the dads were. And if I were a Jewish young man and I lived back in those olden days, that's pretty good. I could go back that many generations and it could talk about it. Forget the fact that some of the guys I just mentioned were not very good people, but it still shows my family was pretty consistent. Now you decide if you think memorizing is good or not. Now let's talk about memorizing the Bible, okay? Should we memorize Bible verses? Well, I don't know how I feel about that. I think that there are some times when Bible verses are beautiful to know and to understand. But if I want to know what they are, I'll pick up the Bible and I'll read them. That doesn't mean that there aren't times when memorizing different verses in the Bible might be a good thing to do, especially if you're a kid. Now, let's don't put too much pressure on children to do this. That's a bad idea. Let's don't do that. But if you can get a kid to memorize something like, for example, 1 John, God is love, and all those who believe in love believe in God, and God believes in them. Wonderful, wonderful thing for a little kid to learn. I think that's great. And teach them all about love. Don't just teach them the words. Don't just teach them memorizing. Teach them what it's about, okay? Or how about, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Maketh me to lie down in the green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. 23rd Psalm. Good one to know. Very comforting. Very comforting. And it can be in the old language like I know it, or it can be in the newer language. It doesn't matter. But what's important is the way it makes you feel. You feel the love of God. You feel the presence of God. So if we're going to mix memorizing with the Bible, okay, let's be careful about how we do it. In fact, let's learn from something that the Bible says. In Proverbs 18, verse 15, an intelligent mind acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seek knowledge. All right, we want to acquire knowledge. It doesn't say we want to memorize everything, okay? And here's a warning. Just because you can sit there and quote Bible verses at people when you think they're wrong does not mean that you understand the Bible. Jesus was about forgiveness, okay? So let's don't memorize and turn it into a weapon, okay? May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you today and always and give you peace. And I memorized that. Amen.